Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The Moneyline.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week.
The Moneyline. We are live with a special Wednesday show and a little earlier than normal. So what's up to the people? It's UFC Paris Fight Week. I am AJ, joined as always by my guy, Mike Finch. What's up, big dog?
When you're the best fighter in the world, they got a name for you. They don't call you the best fighter. They call you Chael Sonnen. Beat me if you can.
Chael Sonnen, what do you think about his grappling performance this past week? And I know you're excited about CGI. Tell the folks.
Yo, my thought on that, first of all, is how do we not see more buggy chokes in MMA? It's perfect for MMA. I mean, I'm watching Dana White's Contender Series on Tuesday, right after watching CJI, and I'm like, I just see all these opportunities for buggy chokes, and these fighters, they just don't even train it. It's like MMA is so divorced from professional jiu-jitsu. It's honestly baffling to me, you know? I was doing research for this card. I was watching Harry, what's his?
Harry Hardwick.
Thank you. Hartwick. Doesn't know how to do a rear naked choke. Had no idea. Slapped the fucking arm on and everything. Had it. I think it was a Gable grip one. Had it in. I think it was Cage Fury. Didn't know that you could rotate. Just had to do, and the guy got out. They're like, great rear naked choke defense. No, he just didn't know to fucking rotate. So it's like if you watch pro jiu-jitsu, you could pick so much up. And that buggy choke that Craig Jones hit Chael Sonnen with, not once, but twice. For those of you that don't know, Craig Jones chokes Chael Sonnen unconscious in like 20 seconds. And then Chael wakes up and is like, I want to go again. And so they're like, Craig, you want to go again? He's like, fuck yeah. So they ran best 2 out of 3. And then he buggy choked with a different buggy choke, by the way. He buggy choked him again. You know, people think like Craig Jones is like turning away from you and playing possum like this. Oh, he's just fucking around. Like, no, that's his game. Like, he'll strangle you when you try to take his back. Like, people think, oh, I'm just gonna pin him. I'm just gonna hold him down like wrestling positions. Craig Jones will kill you. You know, that is beware. You know, it's like approaching Glover. What's his first name? Glover, the weed smoking motherfucker. He plays that donkey guard where he backs up with you with his ass out. Hey, he'll leg lock you. Like, don't play with these jiu-jitsu guys when they get in these bad positions. And you see that. You could be in bottom side control and choke somebody unconscious. MMA fighters take notes of the great and powerful Craig Jones.
Buggy choke attempt was a few fights ago in the UFC. I believe it was Felipe Bunez attempting it on Rafael Estevam. And he did win the round with the position. He didn't get the submission. It's a rare submission in MMA.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it in the UFC. Not that I can recall off the top of my dome. Definitely is a wild jiu-jitsu sub and works in the sport for sure, especially with the dexterity that majority of those guys have, right? Some crazy-ass hip mobility to be nasty with those buggy chokes. So you thought CGI was the cult banger of the weekend for sure?
Come on, son. It was fucking awesome. I love what Craig Jones is doing. He's trying to make jiu-jitsu entertaining. He's trying to find ways to get you guys, MMA fans, and just people on the outskirts to come in and watch jiu-jitsu, you know, who don't normally watch jiu-jitsu, people who wouldn't normally tune in. And he tried to do it with Gable Steveson, but Gable Steveson was an absolute duck and just decided to do an MMA fight. Like, he's training and everything, pretended he have turf toe or whatever he said to Craig. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is he was not contacting Craig Jones back and then pulled out. So really weak shit by Gable Steveson. In steps Chael Sonnen. But, you know, they're just making jiu-jitsu fun. I like the quintet, you know, team versus team format. I like that it's all about the submission. For those of you that don't know, the first night wasn't the most exciting. So Craig and Seth, they're like, all right, $50,000 per submission. Everybody who got a sub the next day, it's a 2-day tournament, got 50 grand. Okay. One of the B team heavyweight, Hugo, fuck is his name? He got 100 grand. He got 2 subs, you know? So pretty awesome. And
That's cool.
the semifinals were insane. You had New Wave versus Atos, which for those of you that don't know, Atos, very high level. Andre Galvao. They have this legendary team. New Wave, that's John Donaher's team. And then B Team, the split from New Wave. So you just got, 90% of the best jiu-jitsu athletes in the world competing against each other. It was a lot of fun for a jiu-jitsu nerd like me anyway.
Tell me why it's better than UFC, BJJ.
If you guys want to dig into that, you should watch Craig Jones versus Mikey Musumeci, the debate that Mighty Mouse hosted. Mighty Mouse makes good content.
He does.
And they sat down for like 2 hours, and Craig Jones brought a bottle of something strong because Mikey Musumeci was fucked up by the end of that debate. And they got into the weeds of it, The advantage that Craig Jones has is he's not signing people to exclusive contracts, so people are more willing to just come in and do one event. So he was pulling from a deeper talent pool. Like they just announced the new Mikey Musumeci title defense. I don't even know who he's rolling against. And I watch jiu-jitsu. I don't even know who the fuck this is. They were going to do Mikey Musumeci versus Craig Jones the first season of UFC BJJ. That would have been sick. Right? That'd have been fucking awesome, right? But Craig didn't sign. And, they're just going to have trouble with the exclusivity piece because of the nature of where the sport is right now. I love the UFC. And if they could do something awesome with jiu-jitsu, I'm not opposed to it.
Fair answer. Fair answer from Jiu-Jitsu Finch up in the building. I'm glad you enjoyed. I watched Misfits, Tony Ferguson getting the hand raised. Obviously, that was a bit of an early stoppage, but still felt nice to see T. Ferg finally snap this treacherous L streak that he was on. And Luke Rockhold got dusted by Darren Till, man. There's levels with the hands. Darren Till is in his prime, too. He's a good boxer. He did great. Destroy Luke. Also, game-bred boxing. We saw Jairzinho Rosenstruik win the strap. Brian Battle fought a guy that was trying to take a dive within the first 30 seconds. And I don't know why the hell they didn't stop it. The guy didn't want to fight. You could tell he was done for after a few little slugs of some windmills. What would you make of that? You watch any of the alternate combat?
Just social media clips. I did watch Till and Rockhold, which went exactly as I thought it would, My buddy's like, what do you think about Luke Rockhold's chances? He's a big underdog. I'm like, fuck that. Like Luke Rockhold couldn't box his way out of a wet paper bag. And Darren Till can box a bit. So Darren Till putting him out. Luke Rockhold's got a good boxing coach. Jason Perillo is awesome. But he's just not he doesn't have a skill for it. He doesn't have the knack for it. He's more of a kicker, jiu-jitsu guy. Boxing, you're just isolating his hands only. He's not even average, as to where Darren Till's got some pop. So Darren Till putting him out, no surprise there. Tony Ferguson beating up Salt Poppy. That was sick. That was cool to see, Tony's he took it very seriously. You saw how in shape he was for it, and it was just cool to see Tony get a dub.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. He's still relentless. I mean, the element of T. Ferg, he doesn't stop. And if you're not in great shape, ready to push a pace, even in boxing, his chin was holding up nice. Salt Poppy was catching him. I'm curious what they're going to do because you have that Dylan Dennis fight that maybe's on the table. Now, Misfits welterweight champ Dylan Dennis saying he wants to fight. Was it Islam Makhachev after the fact? What do you make of this circus show with that type of stuff?
Dylan's a bum. Dylan Dennis is not good at fighting. He seems like a pretty bad human being too. So, I don't have any faith in Dylan Dennis. There's no talent there in the striking. His jiu-jitsu's okay, but he was good at brown belt. At black belt, he hasn't really done much. He's like a 50-50 grappler in competition. So very overhyped. Dylan Dennis, way too much credit. Amazing that we're even talking about him. But a name, probably because he's close to Connor and originally Marcelo Garcia, who's the nicest guy in the world, by the way. Marcelo Garcia is the man. So Dylan Dennis winning titles in combat sports, that surprised me.
I think it's a weird situation with Dennis because I'm wondering his inactivity in fighting, how the fuck was he making so much money? I mean, was he getting paid off social media? Was that what he was doing? Where was his income source? Was he hosting privates? Jiu-jitsu? Did Derek Moneybergs of the world give him a call and throw him $50K or something? I don't understand how he wasn't broke for that timeout because he hadn't fought MMA in years. Obviously, he had the Logan Paul boxing match, but he was essentially a Twitter troll for many years.
Right.
Somehow not, living in a shack. I don't know.
I think he made a lot of money on that Logan Paul boxing match. I would not gloss over that.
Before that, how much money did he have? Like, I don't understand. Did he not have a part-time job? What was he? He was getting it all off Instagram. He had sponsors and shit.
He had some fights in MMA and boxing. That who'd he fight in MMA? You want me to look it up?
The guy that he fought this past Saturday was a 1-0 Misfits boxer who shot a takedown on him. I don't even understand the strategy.
Dylan Dennis is a name. So even though he's terrible, he got paid like for that Bellator fight. The 2 Bellator fights, they paid him well. He fought Joe Lozon. He's getting checks for these.
Where did he fight Joe Lozon?
He fought Joe Lozon at Metamora 6.
Jiu-jitsu.
So in jiu-jitsu, I shouldn't say fought. You're right. But Metamoris was paying. I mean,
okay.
they're paying money. That was $1 million event.
Wow.
Logan Paul, he probably made a lot of money in 2023 losing to Logan Paul. Yeah. So I don't think he's rich or something.
Interesting. I guess I don't know. I just get confused on how he was able to keep the shtick going without any revenue, but maybe he's got some deals. McGregor maybe paid him out a little bit of cash when they were hanging out and shit like that.
Well, not just hanging out, AJ. He was McGregor's sparring partner, coach, training partner for a couple of those fights. So yeah, I would expect him to get paid pretty well for doing a camp with McGregor leading up to, remember, the Khabib fight, which is still the biggest fight in MMA history. So being one of the primary coaches for the biggest fight in MMA history, yeah, he probably got paid.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes more sense. I don't know. I was trying to navigate where this fucking revenue was coming from. I needed to know. Well,
I mean, I know that Rafael Cordero made oodles of money cornering Mike Tyson in that Jake Paul fight. You can make money coaching at that level.
Oh, that's fair. So a McGregor Khabib fight, they paid him out as a corner man. I like the idea of a T Ferg Dylan Dennis fight just for the fuck of it all. People are still going to tune in. I mean, Tony Ferguson brings numbers. He had 1.7 million views on the highlights like a day after the event when they released it off rip. So the fight fans are still going to tune into T Ferg action, even if he's 70 years old. We'll see what he does next. I'm looking forward to it. Now, I want to ask you this. Darren Till, Andrew Tate, is that what's going to go down next? So I'm hearing Tate's doing Misfits too.
Tate is overrated too, bro. I think it should be
overrated.
Tate versus fucking Dylan Dennis. Let him run that shit.
You know what? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think Darren Till would knock Tate out. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. In a boxing match?
Tate should not do that.
He should try to fight maybe like, I don't know.
Dylan.
Luke Rockhold maybe in boxing or Dylan Dennis in boxing. I don't think he's ready.
That's probably better. Yeah, that's probably better.
We'll see what happens, man. We're going off subject with Misfits, man. I feel like a fucking misfit talking about it. I want to talk UFC, Mike Finch. It's UFC Paris fight week. We're in Paris, France. We got a hell of a fight night card, and we got 14 bouts to discuss, one new matchup as well. So we're going to talk about all things UFC Paris. Let's jump into the first fight of the night. If you guys are watching and enjoying, hit that like button. And if you're new, subscribe it up. We got Shauna Bannon versus Sam Hughes. I'm going to be picking the side of Sam Hughes to get the win. I feel like she can outwork Shauna Bannon. I tell you, man, I have not been blown away by Shauna Bannon getting dropped by Pooja Tomar. The comeback submission was nice, but I'm still relatively unimpressed. The Elise Ardoyan fight was a flip of a coin decision. She ended up being on the right side of. And then prior to that, she lost to Bruno Brazil, who's all right. To be fair, Bruno Brazil's decent. I think the side of Sam Hughes is definitely more battle-tested, bigger wins. I mean, she beat Jacqueline Amarim, who's a fantastic MMA grappler and is surging up the ranks right now. She beat Stephanie Luciano last time, who's a blue-chip prospect. I feel like Sam Hughes can outwork Bannon over the course of 3 rounds. I think she probably takes 2 out of the 3 and gets it on the cards. I will say this, though. Sam Hughes is a favorite. This has never been seen before in her entire UFC career. She normally is a dog bet that people love. but as a 3-1 favorite, what do you think about that, Finch?
Yes, it is interesting to see her as a favorite, but it makes sense. You know, she's got skills to pay the bills here. She can take Shauna Bannon down. We've seen Shauna Bannon get pretty much knocked out already. Was it Puja Tomar? So, you know, Sam Hughes has ways to win this fight that are pretty straightforward. I think that her being a dog, her setting a pace, her UFC experience, they come into play here. How do you not lean Sam Hughes? So now the odds make sense.
The pick for me is definitely Sam Hughes. Don't get it twisted. I'm not pushing towards betting Bannon as a dog, but she's sitting at a line minus 310, very much on the wider side. I do like over 2.5 at minus 425. I think the ladies are going into the later stages. I feel like this is a Sam Hughes opportunity to thrive, but I don't know. In the back of my mind, there's worries of a close split decision. Shauna Bannon gets it on the cards in Paris, but skill-wise, I feel like Sam Hughes has got more. I mean, she can definitely exceed the game as far as the wrestling skill set goes. I feel like as far as the striking game goes, Sam Hughes can mix it up. From distance, Bannon's pretty quick. She does have decent striking from range, but she's not great at holding that range neither. And I'm just really underwhelmed by Bannon. I mean, she came into the UFC with a lot of hype and the kickboxing and whatnot, but truth be told, I think she is relatively mediocre. And I think that Sam Hughes can definitely outdog her and win.
Sam Hughes would take down, Sam Hughes with aggression, and Sam Hughes with some cardio and durability too. You know, Shauna Bannon, she's going to be hard pressed to do anything to Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes is durable, tough, bites down on the mouthpiece. I think as soon as she gets on top, she'll start doing some damage, potentially get Shauna Bannon out of there.
Let's go. Jared Nunes, thank you for $19.99. What's up, boys? Keep grinding. Best in the biz. Thanks, bro.
Thank you, Jared Nunes. It's my birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday to the French.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my birthday tomorrow. I'll put it towards something. We're going to go to Javier's in Newport. It's like a fancy Mexican restaurant. Thank you for the drink, bro. I appreciate it.
Hey, shout out Jared Nunes. Thank you, bro. Listen, the pick is Hughes here. I think she wins. Bit of a wide favorite, but I see her pulling through. Matchup should favor her. I think she's handling the overrated Shauna Bannon. And the bookies think she's overrated too. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we got Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Andreas Gustafsson. I'm going with Andreas Gustafsson.
I thought you would. I thought you would.
I like Gustafsson a lot, Finch. The style of Gustafsson, the relentless attack, the pressure, the cage control, the kind of chaotic, psychopathic even style that he brings to the table. With that type of cardio, I feel like he can put a pace on Fakhretdinov. I do think Rinat Fakhretdinov, he's kind of, I don't want to say overrated, but he's underwhelmed as of recent. The Carlos Leal fight was a very favorable decision towards him. I thought that he could have lost that decision. And then fight before that, the Dalby fight was a close split decision. Granted, Dalby's a savage, so, you know, not shame in going to a split with Dalby. Fight before that, draw with Eliseo Zaleski. I feel like he hasn't really looked impressive since, you know, beating Kevin Lee, but it's Kevin Lee though. And he beat Brian Battle some fights ago. But I really think that Rinat Fakhretdinov hasn't shown much improvement in his UFC career. He's kind of just leveled out. He can definitely strike a bit from distance. He can throw some good straight shots. And when he gets tired, he'll put together the windmills and somehow, some way they're working. But I like Gustafsson with the relentless attack. I feel like he outmatches Fakhretdinov in physicality. And I kind of see similarities to the Dalby fight. But I think that Gustafsson is a little bit of a different animal. I don't know. I see the momentum in his favor, coming in with upside, beating up Chaos Williams real bad last time. I'm going to go Gustafsson to get the hand raise and outwork Fakhretdinov over the 3 rounds. I'm going with him.
But during that breakdown, I did hear you start to lay off the gas pedal a little bit. You started saying, fuck, okay, Kevin Lee's actually good. Nicholas Dalby's a fucking animal. Carlos Leal. That's real competition, man. You head into those fights, you're thinking these guys are very capable and experienced mixed martial artists. Who do we got for Andreas? Chaos Williams, who's completely one-dimensional. Pat Putlik. Who the fuck is that guy? You know what I mean? I mean, you start going down the list, you go, who is this guy fought? Rinat Fakhretdinov takes all comers. I mean, went into jiu-jitsu. Who'd he fight? Craig fucking Jones, who he fought, you know? Renat don't give a fuck. And I like his experience here. So it's a tough call. Make no mistake. I mean, Andreas Gustafsson, big heart, bro. Just he's got some balls on him, man. He'll get in there and he works hard. When he clinches up with you, he's grinding. He's trying to beat you up. He's trying to keep busy, stay working. He's not holding, right? He does hold, but he's trying to punch when he's in there. He's trying to do work. He's trying to hurt you. I like his tenacity. I could definitely respect that. He does take risks on the feet, but Renat Fakhretdinov, probably not the guy to knock him out. The thing I like about Renat Fakhretdinov is he's also not the type of guy to just get like held on the fence and just like, you know, beat with an underhook all day. I don't see Renat doing that. I see Renat getting off that fence, getting on offense, getting his wrestling going, which is probably better than Gustafsson's. Gustafsson's just, like I said, like he finds a way to win. He's tough. He grinds. I think Renat Fakhretdinov is better, more experienced. I'll go with him here. Probably a close decision, though. I mean, Renat can't stay away from the split decisions. I don't think this is any different.
-105 for Renat Fakhretdinov, -115 for Andreas Gustafsson, with an over 2.5 at -205. I'm going with the Gustafsson side, but I don't think you're crazy if maybe you want to consider playing the spread on Fakhretdinov if you think he naps around. The thing with Fakhretdinov is, though, I see him losing the 3rd round to Gustafsson. So we'll see how those first 2 go, but I feel like the health bar diminishes a bit. Fakhretdinov shows signs of slowing, and Gustafsson is nonstop. But of course, like you said, level of opposition, Chaos Williams, who he did manhandle. But yeah, it's Chaos Williams. But Chaos Williams hits hard. I mean, shit, he had no issues with Chaos's wild striking. To be fair, though, he's not slick. He's just a wild man.
He's a wild man with big power. That's a different type of test than a Fakhretdinov, you know?
Yeah.
Chaos got controlled. It's going to be harder to control Fakhretdinov.
Yeah, fair. I'm excited to see what happens. I like this fight. I think it's time Fakhretdinov takes an L in the UFC. It's about damn time. And I think Gustafsson's got the juice to do it for him. I'm going to go Gustafsson. Finchman going Fakhretdinov. We're split on this one. The betting lines are essentially even. Do with that as you wish. Let's keep running up the card. Next fight. Here we go to fight number 3. We have Brad Tavares still doing it against Robert Bryczek. Finchman, give me your thoughts on Bryczek. He came in with some hype, ends up losing a Potieria. Now he's fighting an aging Brad Tavares. What do you think of this matchup?
It's tough because Bryczek, if you watch his highlights, you're like, this guy's a fucking animal. This guy's a fucking animal. You'll just see him just bombing on people. Boom, boom, putting people down. He was fighting in Europe when they put the fucking the stickers on you, you know? Yeah. They put those fucking logos and shit, like old HBO boxing, where they'd like put the sticker on the guy's back. He's got power, but the gap between the offense and the defense is so ridiculous. What do you mean by that? What I mean by that is when he's on defense, he's just kind of moving around. He has no like ability to counter. He's not in the fight. Like the exact opposite would be Max Holloway or Dustin Poirier, where they're right on the ends of the punches. As soon as you miss your jab, he's going to counter with a cross hook. As soon as he counters with a cross hook, you're going to slip roll. They're right in there, right? As to where, you know, Bryczek, he's just like, no consequences if you start beating him up and walking him down. And if you're going to cower away from him, he's going to fuck you up. With Brad Tavares, you're talking about a very experienced vet, a guy who has decent striking, sees a lot of better strikers than Bryczek over at Extreme Couture, sees them all the time, spars with them all the time. You know, they go by the name of Sean Strickland, and I mean, there's a long list, right? You could see how Brad Tavares has a clear path here. Uses wrestling, not do anything stupid on the feet. Slightly into Brad Tavares, but I mean, he's getting old. Like, it would not be crazy to see Bryczek, you know, land one good shot, you know, get Brad Tavares doing this shit and then close the show. He's definitely capable, but just because he has the nuclear option doesn't mean he has a delivery system for it. That's why I got to go for Tavares.
I'm with you 100%. I think if he's just slugging fist and he happens to land one, we've seen Tavares shut off in the past. He's got 5 KO losses. But if it's 3 rounds of work, Tavares can kickbox with him. Tavares can work him in the clinch. Bryczek didn't blow me away, man. That Potieria loss was rough. I think that veteran savviness is a factor. I mean, I got to favor the guy with over 25 UFC fights against the dude who's 0-1 in the UFC. And Bryczek is not some young up-and-comer. He's 35. He's seasoned as well. And I just don't know about the level. Like, if he lands, would it blow my mind? Tavares gets knocked out? Shit, Bruno Silva knocked his ass out. But I think Tavares can work for 3 hard. It's like Tavares has weird fights, right? He'll get knocked out by Edmund Shabazian, but go 5 rounds without Asanya, He'll get blitzed by Whitaker, but he'll go 3 with the likes of Yoel Romero and things like that. I'm going to say Brad Tavares can get a decision. I think veteran savviness is a factor. I feel like fight IQ's there. They'll have a game plan. He'll have a pathway. It'll be competitive in moments, but I think Tavares hand raised.
Yeah, he's more complete. He's a better wrestler. He's big for the division. There are reasons to lean Tavares' decision, but his best years are behind him, so be careful.
Yeah, agreed. Best years behind him, but I think this matchup here should be able to pull through. Now, looking towards the betting side of this fight, currently we have Brad Tavares as a -205 favorite, Robert Bryczek +175. Anything about the odds catching your eye here? You think about staying away from this version of Tavares? What do you think, Finch?
Yeah, I don't see reliability on the side of Tavares, so they're a better fight. I've had bets on this card already, so if you're in premium channel, y'all already know what it is. This ain't one of them.
Let's go. I'm in agreement, man. Tavares a pick, but at -205, rather stay away. But I'm going to say hand gets raised, as is the Finch. Let's keep running. Next fight, we got Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters. I like this matchup. Sam Patterson fighting a guy taller than him, which is a rarity. 6'5", Trey Waters. Now, I'm picking Sam Patterson because I think he's a better mixed martial arts fighter. In all areas of the game, I think he brings a threat to Trey Waters. But I will say, Trey Waters has some tricky boxing, and he has shown power outside of the UFC. Obviously, his UFC wins against Josh Quinlan, Billy Goff, both decisions. And against Billy Goff, he was pushed for sure. Sam Patterson, coming off my underdog Savage lock. He was +270. I had him over Danny Borralho. He handled business violently. Okay. So I like Sam Patterson to win, and I'm picking him to win here. And I think he is live to win on the ground by sub, and maybe even catches Trey Waters. But I will throw one thing out there. There's an element to this fight. At 6'5", Trey Waters' frame could be very hard to manhandle and take down. And striking from distance, Trey Waters can box for sure. He's got decent punch combinations, trains out of the same gym as Charles Johnson. I think he's got solid 3-round cardio. With that being said, Sam Patterson is the pick. But I have this this tiniest bit of worry. The knockout. Trey Waters catching him with a clean shot on the chin at the end of his punch. We saw Patterson violently chin down at lightweight, and that was obviously some time ago. And it was against the man, the myth, the legend from Israel, Mr. Ashmuz, who put him away. But he cut way too much weight. I don't know how he pulled that off. He seems to be a much better fighter at 170. So I'm going with Patterson. I'm thinking submission is live here. I think you can show Waters levels on the mat. But I don't know, man. There's always like some weird thoughts of what if Patterson gets caught with something?
What if Trey Waters gets caught with something, AJ? He fights with his hands where his dick is. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like he's 6'5", but he doesn't use it. He doesn't use that reach advantage. He was getting bombed on by, was it Billy Ray Goff?
Billy Ray.
Yeah. I said Goff should have KO'd Waters round 1 in my notes. It's like he was landing everything on Waters. Waters' head movement is trash. And his ability to manage distance is trash. So he's 6'5". It sounds great until you let, short, stocky Billy Ray Goff tee off on you. He won that fight, by the way. But even outside of the UFC and LFA, was it Cage Warriors? Where else did I see him? I was watching his fight. I'll go back to the notes. Didn't write the name down, but I wrote Waters, hands down, low output. Like, those are not good notes. That's not what you want to hear. He got Ezekiel choked by Gabriel Bonfim, and the commentary didn't even notice. Dude, if you go back and listen to that, DC, fucking, what's his name? Brendan Fitzgerald, all these guys did not even see. They didn't even notice the Ezekiel choke happening. They're like, oh, guillotine by Trey Waters. No, he's getting Ezekiel choked, Anyway, I think the Trey Waters leaves some room. There's some room. There's some things to be desired. And I do think that Sam Patterson can close that gap. Sam Patterson's better with his submission grappling. That's surely the case. And then with the striking, we just saw Sam Patterson put out Danny Barlow, which, by the way, AJ and I had for y'all, okay? AJ and I we were on that one for y'all, okay? So when AJ and I are on a dog, you've heard me say this before, take note. And I don't think I am here. I think I'm going to go Sam Patterson. He's got more ways to win. Striking's a little tighter. Trey Waters has some power for sure, but he lets people off the hook with a lot of shit too. I don't love his timing. I definitely don't love his defense. For those reasons, I'm going to go with Sam Patterson.
Respect. Looking at the betting lines, it's minus 186 for Sam Patterson. Trey Waters sitting at plus 161. Over a round and a half, minus 175. I think it is live to go over a round and a half. Patterson to win via sub, plus 190. KO, plus 500. Patterson last fight absolutely showed hands. Easy money against Danny Barlow. Maybe he does it again here. But his ground skills are nasty. So if it hits the mat, I do think he beats Trey Waters up. I'm going Sam Patterson to win. I'm just bringing up the what ifs. I'm sorry to scare some of you guys. I think that Sam pulls through. It's just, it's going to be interesting to see the matchup play out. I feel like Waters might be a little better than he's shown in his UFC fights. I think
he's definitely got a shotgun,
Yeah.
Waters definitely has some consequence to him when he punches you in the face.
Yeah. Let's go. Finchman and I both same side. Patterson, W. Let's keep running. Next one, this is a short notice fight. Kawe Fernandez fighting the replacement fill-in. Respect to Harry Hardwick stepping in, fighting against Kawe Fernandez, who was supposed to fight against Fares Ziam in a pretty important fight in the lightweight division. Now, Hardwick's good. Featherweight fighter coming from Cage Warriors. The guy's got game. I like his pressure striking style. He mixes it up pretty nicely with the hands. I said he reminds me of like a drunken pub brawling version of like Nick Diaz with the way he slaps his shots together, a little bit of that British flair to it, but there is a ever so slight Diaz flow. Not much, but a little bit. He's got a unique style, but he's fighting Kawe Fernandez. He's up in weight. He's on short notice. Kawe's a slick kickboxer. Kawe's got game. Good striking from range. Mobile for sure. I was picking Fares Ziam to beat him, but I thought it could be because of Ziam's highly technical kickboxing skill set and threat of grappling. I don't feel like Hardwick is taking Kawe Fernandez down and controlling him. And when I look at the striking, if Hardwick can make it a dogfight in range and land some multi-shot combinations, maybe this thing changes. But I think Kawe Fernandez is going to have strike speed advantage, distance management advantage, and Kawe Fernandez, the lightweight, Hardwick, the featherweight, and we got full camp versus not. I'm going with Kawe Fernandez to pull through, but I think Hardwick will put a gutsy effort out there.
Speaking of good bets to give y'all, and by the way, these were bets, not just picks. I gave out Sam Patterson as a dog bet over on Premium Channel. DM at Mike Finn Show if you want to see mine this week. Kai Fernandez I gave out at AJ plus 300. Plus 300 against Guram Kutaladze. All right. So I've been on Kai Fernandez. He was going to, as AJ just alluded, he was going to take on Faraz Ziam, maybe take out. And then Faraz Ziam pulls out. So we get Hardwick in here on short notice. I like that. I like that for Fernandez. He's too goddamn good at striking, and Hardwick is too stiff, bro. He's stuck in the mud almost. He does apply nice pressure, as AJ said, which is good. And he spins, right? And when somebody else spins, he takes the back really well. So, like, when you throw a spinning back fist on him, Hardwick is great at just gluing his cheek to your back, hip heisting you, taking you down. He does a good job with that for sure. But there's no talent. Hardwick, no talent. Harry Hardwick, not athletic, not fast, not excellent, timing with his strikes or anything. I'm not seeing any real standout skills here for the UFC. He does switch stances. He does move forward. He does get into a fight. But you know, I feel like Fernandez is going to potentially knock him out here. Knockout or decision. Kawani Lopez doesn't know how to finish a rear naked. He didn't know how to finish a rear naked strangle against him. That's what I was bitching about earlier. So Harry Hardwick has this dude wrapped up in a full rear naked strangle, completely locked up, palm to palm, and he's just sitting there, and the dude's fucking flailing around, and he's sitting there, nothing's happening, and the dude just like peels the hands and gets out. It was like, what the fuck? Like, Harry, rotate, and it's over, and the fight was over. It would have been a body. He just didn't even know how. So that makes me really question, like, okay, even if you get a big moment and you slap on a guillotine, are you not going to know how to finish a guillotine? You don't know that you could raise your elbows, inflate your chest, bring the wrist up, roll the wrist. He won't know shit like that. So you're just less bettable as I researched, you know? So I have to go with Kai Fernandez. I have to go with a talented striker, long, rangy, you know, comfortable in the UFC. I think he's probably going to put Hardwick away.
Looking at the odds, minus 160 for Kawe, plus 140 for Hardwick. Minus 160 seems like a great line to me for Kawe Fernandez. I don't think it should be this close. I think minus 250, minus 300 wouldn't be crazy. I get it. Hardwick's got height, but short notice, up in weight against a skillful guy in Kawe Fernandez with a speed advantage. Come on. I think we're both right here. I think Kawe's handling business against Hardwick.
Thank you, Stormy Normie. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think so. I think he's getting him out of there too. It's just, that's a tough customer to take on short notice, man. Kawe Fernandez, underrated, and starting to show people what the fuck is up.
Yeah, he's showing people what's up. I like his game, and I think wins this one. Good to see the Hardwick brother finally in the UFC. His brother trying to get in, loses on Contender, and then loses to Emmanuel Silva, who just got destroyed by Mandel Nalo. At least his brother's getting in, but I just think, like you said, too stiff, stuck in the mud. I like that analogy a lot, and I feel like Fernandez showing levels.
They're not athletes, man. It's not they wouldn't make it in other sports, you know?
Yeah.
You can't you could drop John Jones into other sports. He probably competes at a professional level, you know? You drop Hardwick into other sports, better be fucking table pool.
That was good. Oh shit, that's funny as hell, man.
Better be croquet.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there, but he's tough. And so, you know, I think he'll attack. I don't think he's going to be a bitch out there, but I think it's just going to get him knocked out, man. Kawe Fernandez with a KO, and yeah, I think because he has a full camp, it's a confident pick.
Let's go, Kawe Fernandez for Finchman and myself. Next fight, we got Marcin Tybura versus Ante Delija. Gotta say, man, Tybura looks fat as shit in this picture. I don't know why. As soon as I dropped it in, I'm like, damn, bro, it must be an
in real life, right? Tybura looks like a fucking supermodel to you, bro.
I'm not saying he looks like a supermodel, but I'm saying he doesn't look morbidly obese normally in this. He looks like Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. Holy shit. Oh, fuck.
Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. You know, my mom used to not let me watch that movie when it first came out. I was a little kid, and she's like, it's going to make you stupid. That's what she said. She's like, you're not allowed to watch this shit. Gonna make you stupid, and maybe she was right. Maybe she was
That's
right.
funny. That's
I watched
funny
it as an adult. I'm like, this shit is retarded.
Hey, listen, you know, it's just goofy entertainment. It's like a satire, you know.
I don't do Will Ferrell movies. You know, stupid comedy.
You don't like Elf?
I love comedy, first of all, and Elf is all right. Elf is all right.
All right. At least that. That's all I needed to know. At least
all
Elf,
right.
you know. Listen, I like Adam Sandler, bro. I got a bias towards him.
When I first watched Anger Management, which is Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson is a fantastic actor, by the way. That was fucking incredible. I watched Anger Management a couple months ago because I was telling my wife, I'm like, oh, it's so good. You'll see. It was mid, bro. Wasn't that good?
That's not one of my favorites from him either. I mean, I thought it was decent.
8 Crazy Nights was really good. That cartoon.
Yeah, I didn't see the cartoon.
What?
Nah.
8 Crazy Nights this Christmas. Adam Sandler.
Okay.
You know, yeah, classic Jewish movie. I'm not Jewish, but classic Jewish movie. Very, very good. Another one. It was funny in 2000 fucking whatever it came out in. I don't want to get it wrong, but long time ago. Doesn't quite hold up, you know? So
all right, fair. Fuck it. Let's get to Marcin Tybura. Enough of the fucking comedy. Holy
where
shit.
do we go?
I don't know where we're going.
You said
Marcin
fat
Tybura.
bastard. It was over.
I
from
know,
there.
it is. Tybura versus Delija. Finch, man. I'm going with Ante Delija. Now, I kind of talked myself into this pick on Sunday. As I started breaking it down, I was kind of gonna go Tybura, but I felt unsure. I said, you know what? I'm gonna decide as I'm breaking it down. I'm gonna decide on the show. Ante Delija stylistically could be a tough matchup for Marcin Tybura. Hold on.
Is it because of the fat picture?
No, it was made before the picture. It was made before. Ante Delija is pretty good at wrestling, pretty good defensively, and he can throw some powerful punches. Marcin Tybura on the other side has a very capable Brazilian jiu-jitsu skill set, but I wouldn't call him a top-tier striker. And like, I just think that normally he's a guy that can survive the onslaught and then thrive as opponents start to fade, like he did with Greg Hardy, like he did with Walt Harris. And even last fight, I mean, Mick Parkin took him down in round 2 and beat him up a little bit. I thought Mick Parkin could have got that decision, to be honest with you. I feel like Ante Delija has a tough matchup for Marcin Tybura. I like the chances of Delija making it a fight. I could see Delija taking Tybura down. I don't think he's getting submitted by Tybura. I feel like Delija outworks him over a 3-rounder. And if there is a knockout, I could see Delija with explosive shots. I get it. 2 fights ago, Moldavsky starched him. But he still is the 2022 PFL champ.
Yeah.
He's got, a solid record over in PFL. And he's an interesting addition to heavyweight. And I do think Marcin Tybura is on the back end of his career. And there's a rematch as well. They fought many years ago. Delija ended up like breaking his leg in the first round. I'm going to go with Delija getting revenge here in his UFC debut. I think that he replaces Tybura in the rankings and has similar success.
No, I'm going to go Marcin Tybura, but I hear you, man. Valentin Moldavsky is definitely decent. For people who don't know, I've seen his whole Bellator career. I gave him a book once. What book did I give him? We were talking.
Dr. Seuss?
Before I'm off of it, VR Waterboy, solid one. Longest Yard, great Adam Sandler
That's
movie.
great.
That's fucking solid. Ace Ventura is great, Justin, but that's Ace Ventura is fucking that's
Jim Carrey.
That's Jim Carrey. Yeah, he's tripping.
Oh.
Jim Carrey's great. I think Marcin Tybura's UFC experience matters. At 39 years old, he's still beating decent contenders. He just beat that kickboxer, Janata Deniz, Mick Parkin. The Sergey Spivak loss was pretty dominant. That was bad, but he's been he's been active in 2025. I think that Delija, coming in here with a ton of experience outside of the UFC is very real. It's very real, and he's definitely beat Renan Ferreira. That fucking finish was awesome in 2022. Yeah. But Marcin Tybura's, gatekeeper level UFC, we'll see if he gets through the gate. I don't know, though. It's definitely not one I would bet on. I wouldn't bet on Marcin Tybura necessarily, but I do believe in his grappling and that he's not done. At 39 years old, he's still showing some life. So until he does look like fat bastard, I don't think I'll be betting him against him at this level.
Respect. Odds for the fight, -110 on both sides. So coin flip according to the books. I'm feeling like Delija finds a way. I like the upside, man. I like the chance of something new in the heavyweight division. I like the matchup. Delija 35, Tybura 39. Delija tall, man, 6'5". Delija, if he was fighting like a power hitter with good takedown defense, I'd probably be going the other way. But Tybura doesn't have a lot of pop. And I can see Delia's game working here. I'm excited for this matchup, actually. Like, this is a little cult heavyweight banger. For me, this is a fight on the prelims I got my eyes closely on. I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. It would be nice to see Delija come in and do some work. I mean, the UFC heavyweight division could use it. That would be great. Honestly, rather see that happen.
And I think it's live. It's a competitive fight. It's a dog fight. It's a good matchup. One thing I'll say about Delija that I think we can both agree is a net positive. He's in the room working with Tom Aspinall. So I feel like, there's got to be some positives to training alongside him. Even Mick Parkin, who recently fought Tybura. And I feel like I just asked myself, I'm like, is Delija superior to Mick Parkin? I say, yeah. And then I see Tybura get a close decision over Parkin. I like the match. I think Delija finds a way. I do. I'm going to pick his side.
Yeah, Mick Parkin and Saint-Denis are great wins for Marcin Tybura. I think those are fantastic wins. So I don't rate those like scrubs. I think both of those are, especially in the UFC heavyweight division. Fuck, man, it's not that deep. We'll see what's up. I think Delija has definitely got skills to pay the bills, and a 35-year-old heavyweight who could finish a Marcin Tybura, it would be an awesome thing for the UFC. I'm just not going to touch it until I see it. I think Marcin Tybura is a pretty tough customer for him. But you never know when these guys are going to fall off. 39 years old. Yeah, it's not a confident one.
Let's go. Finchman going Tybura. I'm going to go Delija. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. We got Oumar Sy versus Brennison Ribeiro. I'm picking Oumar Sy. I'm not going with Brennison Ribeiro to check him. Yes, Alonzo Menafield got him, but Menafield's a, staple top 15 gatekeeper of this light heavyweight division. Oumar Sy is still a capable fighter. He's good on the ground. He's got solid striking. He's technically pretty decent. Got a solid jab. Got good athleticism. Very good size for the heavyweight division. Very long reach, 83.5 inches. And he stands at 6'4". So one of the bigger bodies in this heavyweight division. On the other side, Brennison Ribeiro, 6'3", 81-inch reach. He's got a freaky frame as well. I think Ibeiro's got some pop in his hands and obviously showed some jiu-jitsu with Nurgajai. But then Nurgajai got subbed by Uran Sadi Baldiev in the fight after. So, how impressive is it now? That win hasn't aged as well. Ribeiro last time, I mean, to be fair, the guy he goes out and gets chinned by is Azamat Mirzakhanov, who's an absolute behemoth. But still, I look at a Kyle Machado split decision, losing a Magomed Gadzi Asulov, Ming Yang Zhang chinning him. I think Oumar Sy probably dominates here, and I think he is live for a finish on the ground, but could be a safety-first decision from Sy. I see Sy getting the win. I think his size is a factor, his athleticism, and this is a very winnable matchup. This is not Alonzo Menafield.
This is not Alonzo Menafield. Brennison Ribeiro's explosive, though, man. Brennison Ribeiro, he got that Kimura over Dr. Nurgazai, who we just saw lose again. He's got some power in his hands, but that's about it. When you're talking about Oumar Sy, you're talking about a much more talented prospect, 29 years old. I do feel like he bounces back nicely here against the Brennison Ribeiro. He probably can finish him. Brennison Ribeiro, a bit vulnerable, right? And Oumar Sy probably patient until the second or third round. Let's say Brennison Ribeiro misses the big shots, gets a little tired, and gets put away late by Oumar Sy. Oumar Sy, he's got a lot of tread in the tires. I think he's going to show us a lot in his UFC career. And at this level, this is a perfect fight for him to bounce back at.
I think so, too. I think that Oumar Sy going to do his thing. This is a matchup where he thrives in. And this is probably the type of matchup he should have still been in. They kind of rushed him. They're like, hey, here's Alonzo Menafield. The chance to break into the top 15. Ends up losing on the cards. I think this is probably a finish incoming. I'm going to say inside distance is live for him. Sy inside distance, -155. Money line for Sy, -500. And Ribeiro is +375 as the underdog, who I don't think has much of a shot. Yeah, Oumar Sy, he's a big favorite, but definitely live to win. Very likely to win. He's a confident pick for me.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's one of the more confident ones on the card. Brennison Ribeiro, nuclear option, very dangerous, but that's about it. A big bite and not a whole lot else going on there. So if you get clubbed with a wild shot, or if your jiu-jitsu is trash, he'll take you out. I think Oumar Sy could pass that test.
Agreed. Oumar Sy for the W for us both. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we got William Gomis versus Robert Ruchała. Now, Ruchała coming in with some hype, storming over from KSW, where he recently had that interim featherweight title. Now he takes on William Gomis. I think William Gomis is going to win. I am not sold on Ruchała, Finch. Let me tell you, I was watching the style and I was like, this reminds me of something I've seen in BKFC. Kind of like a bit of like an awkward striking flow with the, shoulders lean forward, okay with the hands, willing to engage, definitely throws hard shots and brings pressure with some combos, but not the slickest guy.
Yeah,
not
he's wild.
accurate, a little bit of a chaos factor to him, I guess. But now you have the opposite of him in William Gomis. You have a distance kickboxer who's incredibly technical, in a truest form, a lateral movement-based technician on the side of William Gomis, and he's got the big cage to do it. Lost last fight to Hyder Emil in the small cage at the Apex, and it was a close split decision, but he still took the L there. This matchup here in the full-size octagon, I think his footwork is a factor. I think his UFC experience is a factor. Outside of an 11-1 record, I am not sold on Ruchała being anything more than a UFC washout, and that's just me keeping it a buck with you guys here. I'm not impressed at all. The record is nice. He's going to have to show me a lot here against William Gomis. I don't think he does. I think he gets outpointed. I think Gomis probably takes it on the cards. Maybe Ruchała shows some guts, and, you know, we'll see him back in some scraps later on, maybe this year or next year. But I'm not feeling a win against now UFC veteran and William Gomis. I'm going Gomis decision.
God damn, I guess he's getting there. Yeah, William Gomis, a lot longer, taller, lanky striker. Not a ton of consequences when you're striking with him. Kind of like split decisions, which is not the best. But here you got Ruchała, a guy who's wild as fuck, digs deep, you know, wants to swing big shots. I think Gomis is like, you know, calm kickboxing will actually work fine there. And they're in Paris. Parlez-vous français? I believe that William Gomis can get it on the cards in Paris. I do. You know, he could have a Joe Anderson Brito type performance. And again, Joe Anderson Brito, kind of a wild man, more skills, you know, on the mat as well than Ruchała. And, you know, wasn't able to beat William Gomis. So we'll go Gomis. I don't love the low output for Gomis. I don't love the slow pace. Sometimes he gets a little bored in there, some Leon Edwards vibes. But I guess Leon won the title, so William Gomis should win at this level. I like where the fight is at as well in Paris. Let's say William Gomis gets it on the cards 2 out of 3 rounds.
Chop, thank you for becoming a member. Big W to you, man. The odds for the fight have William Gomis as a minus 268 favorite, alongside Ruchała plus 228 dog. I do think over 2.5 minus 270 is quite probable. Gomis by decision at plus 105. Yeah, I'm going William Gomis to get it done. I don't see the Ruchała hype outside of wearing a belt that says KSW and a nice record. Like watching him fight. Did you think the same? Did you think the same as me? Were you like, I don't see it?
I think he's a dog. I think I like the BKFC reference.
That's the vibes, bro. Him and BKFC Europe. God bless him. I hope that you know, maybe it comes together.
Yo,
like
maybe
MMA?
it does. Maybe that's the future.
Might be.
I think the UFC likes his style. You know, they want people to come in there and get in a goddamn fight. So, but as far as like high level martial arts, no, I don't think he's gonna be able to deal with that.
Yeah, William Gomis, the pick for myself for the Finch man. Let's keep running up the card. It brings us to our main card opener. If you guys are watching and enjoying, hit the likes. And if you're new, subscribe. We got Patricio Pitbull versus Losene Keita to start it off right. Finch, man, give us the breakdown.
Y'all know what it is. Y'all already know what the fuck it is. Somebody's at home like, God damn it, he's going to pick fucking Pitbull. That's his boy. Yes, he is my boy. And yes, I am going to pick him. You're correct, motherfuckers. Patricio Pitbull with the grappling, son. Okay? Because Keita is explosive on the feet. Fucking A is Keita explosive on the feet. And he's got a way to wield this energy. He's like Goku with the Hamehameha. He channels it and he keeps it with him. And he lets it go when he needs it. I haven't seen him like completely gassed out in a fight, which is kind of crazy when you look at the way he throws shots. He throws shots almost emotionally. Like he throws shots like he's just uncorking a fastball every single time. And when you throw like that, generally the energy management is hard. He finds a way to do it. I think against a Patricio Pitbull, the grappling is the problem. If Patricio hits those takedowns he was hitting against Dan Ige, it's going to be an issue because Keita has not shown me technical sound grappling. You know, when he was taken down outside of the UFC, what's that fucking promotion he was just in? He's the champ. He's the champ.
Octagon.
Thank you. Of Octagon. Yes. In Octagon, I was watching all of his fights, literally every single fight I could get my hands on, which was like all the last 5 of his fights. You know, he was taken down by Nico Samsonite, a simple single leg. Keita found the fence, and then Samsonite just picked him up and just swept out the secondary leg. Easy takedowns. Samsonite's passed to Mount with an underhook, without an underhook, I'm sorry, and without pinning the shoulders. So Keita just framed and stood up. But Pitbull, I don't see him making those types of mistakes. Pitbull understands how to pin shoulders, how to use underhooks, how to get to dominant positions, how to use ground and pound. I feel like he can get on top of Keita and do work. Keita's grappling well-roundedness is definitely in question here. His last opponent, Bogdanovic, took him down, and the Mount was wide open. He hit Keita with some elbows. I just feel like Keita's ground game is not ready for the UFC, and Patricio Pitbull, has a very complete ground game. Being the Octagon champ, he clearly has speed and knockout power, and I love his stalking style. He's got some nasty elbows off the fence, so it's that classic position where you're doing the splits on the fence, and the guy's head's right here in on the takedown, and Keita's got those fucking elbows, man. It's missing in so many people's games. I'm glad Keita has that. It's perfect for him. So Patricio can't just be stalling him on the fence in that spot. There are weapons. Keita's very fucking dangerous on the feet. But I'm going to go with the vet. I'm going to go with the guy who's more well-rounded. I'm going to go with the guy who's better on the ground and what looks to me is a lot better at wrestling, too. Shout out to Captain Eric Alberison, Patricio Pitbull's wrestling coach. I got Patricio Pitbull decision.
I'm thinking Patricio Pitbull wins as well, Mike Finch. I know you brought it to my attention first. And obviously, then I did my own study, and I'm like, yeah, Losene Keita is a powerful striker, but he is a little chaotic and wild. And the guys that he's fighting, they are not UFC level opposition. Yes, he's going out there and winning fights over an octagon, and he's got a nice streak, and he looks like a great prospect. But I underline that word, and I emphasize it to you, prospect. Patricio Pitbull is the former Bellator champ. He is Bellator's GOAT, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And he's got a UFC win now against Dan Ige, where he looked good. Obviously lost to Yair Rodriguez, a top 5 contender at featherweight. I just think for Keita to come into this fight, they're throwing him out right away to Patricio Pitbull. I think he's biting off more than he can chew. The ground skills need some refinement. He's young. He's in his 20s. He's got a lot of upside. Could he find a way to beat Pitbull? If he stops those takedowns and if he's able to just rip him with strikes, listen, we might be looking at a future face of the top 10 of this featherweight division, but I just don't know. I see slickness, I see ability, I see potential, but the reality is Keita has not shown me enough evidence whatsoever that he can beat a guy of Patricio Pitbull's level. A high-level wrestling threat from Pitbull, though Patricio Pitbull has a karate-esque kickboxing striking flow. His takedown game legit. His jiu-jitsu game is legit. Keita's bottom game looks like shit. How can I pick this guy? I can't. I'm going with Patricio Pitbull. I think that for Keita, biting off more than you can chew would have been better if he was fighting some unranked guy. Give him somebody that's, newer in the UFC. Maybe even Keita versus fucking Ruchała, battle of KSW versus Octagon.
I like that.
Right? That would make more sense. I don't understand why
I'd pick Keita.
Patricio Pitbull fight. I would pick Keita. Yeah, I think Keita could even beat William Gomis. I think he's good. But this fight here, Patricio Pitbull, I think it's too much. Too much.
Yeah. He's a very talented striker, man. Keita is special. So I could see Keita being very good, but I think you need to drop him off 2 years Dagestan forget, though.
He does. He needs that groundwork. He's got the natural explosiveness, and obviously he's got good hips because of the striking, but eventually he's going to be on his back. And from there, I just have many doubts. So Finchman and I both going underdog Patricio Pitbull to get it done. He's plus 182. Bro, can we just talk about how amazing this card is? This is the first fight on the main card. I feel like we've been talking about badass prelim fights throughout.
Yeah.
Would have been main card fights. And now this is fight 1 on the main card. Paris, my God, Paris getting blessed with this. I love the Paris events, by the way. I always feel like the vibe is just great.
Yeah, fuck yeah. When I got to go to Paris right after the Olympics happened, so my experience in Paris is awesome. A lot of people say French people are like dicks, like they're rude. Nobody was rude to me, man. It was fucking awesome being there. So shout out to Paris. Great fucking spot. I think that this card's going to be a banger. I mean, Ruffy versus Benoit Saint-Denis. How could that be a bad fight? Kaio versus Imavov. How do these go wrong?
Amazing. Great card in Paris. I'm stoked for it. Patricio Pitbull, underdog win. Me and Finch, man. on the call. And let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we have Axel Sola versus the tough Rhys McKee. I'm picking Rhys McKee in this spot against Axel Sola. I'm not convinced with Axel. He's a lightweight moving up, taking on Rhys McKee in a debut. And I get it. It's like when you look at Rhys McKee just on the numbers, right? You're like, oh, this is easy pickings. He fucked Franco up last time. And Franco can swing some heavy fists. Franco's a dangerous puncher. Franco's pretty powerful. And I feel like Axel Sola, he's a good scrapper. I felt like I saw good punch combinations in close, more of a wild style, like dirty boxing style, not so much like he's a slick Ilia Topuria type. Definitely has the dog in him. Definitely got good forward pressure. Definitely can mix it up in all areas, but he's at a size disadvantage here with Rhys McKee, who's one of the bigger welterweights on the roster. I feel like Rhys McKee's got pretty good straight shots. I think his physicality is a factor in this fight. I think this is a Rhys McKee time to shine. I think Axel's biting off more than he can chew. I'm not sold. UFC debut, Rhys McKee. It looks like easy pickings from the outside. When you look at the actual matchup, I think he handles business. I'm going McKee as an underdog, Finch.
Yeah, Sola's UFC debut. He's a French southpaw. He's just, I feel like Rhys McKee's better at everything. You know, better kickboxing, more experience in the UFC. I think he's gonna be too tough of a customer for him, man. You know, they come from a similar scene, though. And I mean, you know, Sola's shown a little bit of promise, but I just don't believe in his opposition, man. I think that it'll be shocking getting into the UFC for him. I see this as a bad UFC debut, even though it's in Paris, even though he's on home turf. That might be more pressure for him. Rhys McKee, yeah, competent kickboxing. I would rather rely on that. And I would rather rely on the guy who's made that walk a few times in the UFC. Give me Rhys McKee. Decision?
Rhys McKee is currently sitting at underdog status, plus 111.
I did not know that.
Minus 131. Yeah, he's a dog in this fight. At open, Rhys McKee was plus 160, bro.
What the fuck? Let me see.
I'm surprised at those odds.
Rhys
I
McKee
really
plus
am.
111, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like him. I like the underdog. I like his style. McKee can strike pretty well with straights, range advantage. Axel gets hit a lot too. I feel like very willing to bang, but that's a recipe for disaster. I think McKee could actually knock him out.
Yeah. Knockout could be live. McKee's got some consequence to him. You know, the southpaw matchup's interesting for McKee. Yeah, I think McKee I just say decision.
Let's go. Rhys McKee, the handle business, the pick for myself and the Finch man. And let's keep running. Next fight on the card, Balaji Oki versus Mason Jones. I like this matchup. Oki's a power hitter, but his UFC wins haven't blown me away. Came in with a ton of hype, beating Dylan Salvador with a knockout, nasty on Contender Series, ripping the body and shit. And then UFC fights Timmy Kawamba decision and a short notice Kawamba, and then another short notice vet. And he took on Contender Series alumni, actually, in the name that I feel bad it's escaping me. I remember his face, the name of Michael Aswell, yes, who lost to Bogdan Grad on Contender Series. I feel like Balaji Oki's got good raw talent and power, but I think he gets outworked by Mason Jones. Mason Jones has got some higher level experience to his game. I think he's going to have a wrestling advantage in the fight. I think he neutralizes the Balaji Oki power threat. I see Mason Jones mixing it up on the feet a little bit, but I do think Oki thuds him with some decent punches. But I think as Oki starts to get crazy, you notice with Oki, Finch, he overthrows sometimes, right? He's getting chaotic and he's very reactive, but sometimes he's like spazzy even in the way that he lets shots fly. I think Mason Jones counters that. I think he gets him to the ground. He can land some shots on the feet. I think Mason Jones could end up winning by submission here. I like Mason Jones to showcase some more ground skills. He did it with Jeremy Stevens.
Yep.
I like the matchup for Mason. I'm going with him.
Yeah, you just saw Mason Jones showcasing the grappling against Jeremy Stevens, who's a power puncher who likes to loop his shit too. So I actually like that as a bit of a warm-up for a Balaji Oki fight. You know, Balaji Oki definitely going to be a test. He has some consequence to him, but Mason Jones more well-rounded, a better martial artist. I think Mason Jones is also kind of coming into his prime. You know, we saw him leave the UFC for a while. He was, you know, racking up dubs in Cage Warriors. This 2.0 Mason Jones, I think, is finally in his prime. He's 30 years old now. I'm going to be 33 tomorrow. I'm in my fucking prime. So I feel like Mason Jones, these next 3 years here are going to be solid for him. Let's go with Mason Jones, being a more well-rounded mixed martial artist, hitting a couple takedowns, and also just dealing with shit on the feet. Defensively, more sound than a Blagioki.
I like it. Defensively, more sound, more well-versed, higher level experience. I think Mason Jones is a good call here, Finch. Minus 135, close money. Plus 115 for Blagioki. Isn't that interesting, the close money lines like that?
That's nice.
I like the odds of it, man. I think that we're going to see Mason Jones thrive in this spot. I like his chances a lot. Now, looking towards prop betting, I'm not crazy about it, but Jones via sub is a possibility at plus 900. I don't think it would be insane if Mason Jones subbed up Blagioki, though I kind of lean towards a decision.
Yeah, that would not be crazy at all. Yeah, Mason Jones sub is actually interesting because he probably grapples early. That would be smart. And his coaches, I was listening to the corner against Jeremy Stevens. They're pretty smart. I'd say early grapple, and he's going to give Oki a run for his money on the ground. So I like that. Let's
go. Finch, man. I think we're on the right side of history going Mason Jones. Let's keep running. We got the feature fight up next. We got Modestas Bukauskas versus Paul Craig. Finch, I'm going to let you hold it down. Do you think that Paul Craig got another one? He can pull through another ace of spades in this shit? What do you got?
I was just telling AJ, I was trying to play this game last night. I couldn't find the controller. What game? Call of Duty Black Ops. And then when you go into the map, go Rod Crowby, the ace of spades, the ace of the fucking Motorhead song. I think Paul Craig he makes you gamble. So it's a good comparison, right? Like when you're running, when you're in there with Paul Craig, he's going to roll the dice. And if he rolls a D20, you know what I'm talking about? D20? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Dungeons and Dragons. If he rolls a D20, he'll get you out of there. You could submit the champion of 205, right? Ankalaev. But Modestas Bukauskas, a clean kickboxer. We just saw him use his kickboxing very, intelligently. Like, I think he's learning now. I think that he's going to have a patient kickboxing performance against the Paul Craig. Just sort of pitch a shutout, 30-27 him, not do anything stupid, not follow him onto the ground. It's just too straightforward how to beat Paul Craig. Don't follow him onto the ground. Just stick to your guns kickboxing. Don't let him pull you into some war. And I think Modestas Bukauskas gets that done.
I like it, man. I think Modestas Bukauskas gets it done too. I feel like his hands are good. Modestas is coming together. This UFC win streak now, 3 in a row, I like for him. Whereas Paul Craig, he's 1-5 and 1 no contest on the last 7. Momentum seems to be like a flat tire and you're trying to go uphill. It ain't fucking happening. Modestas Bukauskas is an underrated athlete. You seen him do those backflips? I think that his ground skills defensively are good. Paul Craig's going to get this fight to the ground, but it will not be a takedown, Mike Finch. He should be at CGI if he's getting cut from the UFC maybe. He's going to be pulling guard, Mike Finch. He's going to be playing some jiu-jitsu. He's going to try and throw something up from the bottom. I think Bukauskas' defense is sound. Trains alongside Tom Aspinall. I think they got him prepared. He's a good athlete. He's in his prime. Modestas, I see him getting close to top 15. I don't know if he breaks into the top 15, but I can see him fighting for a number next to his name after this one. I'm saying beating Paul Craig, highly likely. And I think he's live to knock him out. I think he puts his punches together well. And we got Modestas Bukauskas chinning Craig.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? Yeah. It'd be pretty bizarre to see Modestas going down there to see how he does in the guard of Paul Craig, and it's something else AJ and I were talking about before we went on. There are certain jiu-jitsu athletes. We were talking about whether or not Helena Cravar would be good in MMA. And I said no, because there are certain Kron Gracie type, jiu-jitsu athletes where they got to pull you into their jiu-jitsu game. Paul Craig's one of those where he's got to hope you walk down that tunnel, you walk down that dark hallway, right? I think that it's much better there's a lot more evidence that you're going to be better in mixed martial arts when you impose your jiu-jitsu. Damian Maia will take you down and take your fucking back. He doesn't care what you think about it, right? Nicky Rodriguez, who's probably the best grappler in the world right now. Nicky Rodriguez, he uses his wrestling. He gets the takedown. He body locks you. He takes you down. He uses a body lock pass. He passes him out, and he head and arm chokes you. He runs a system on you. Paul Craig doesn't impose his jiu-jitsu well. He's never had the wrestling. I think it's a huge problem for him, especially against strikers like this. It's honestly bizarre that he's even still on main cards getting these type of fights, and they keep giving him these, these up and coming guys who are looking to make a name for themselves in the division. And I think Modestas Bukauskas is going to either decision or KO him. I think he's a pretty solid lock here against the Paul Craig.
Yeah, I think so too. Now looking towards the betting lines currently, Bukauskas is minus 350 as the favorite. Paul Craig sitting at plus 285. So a little bit on the, wider sides odds wise, but I got a good feeling about Bukauskas. I think it could be somebody to parlay up. He's a confident pick. I think KO is a possibility. It sits at minus 150 though, so not great odds for it, but likelihood is there. I think Paul Craig's getting knocked out. I'm going with the primed Bukauskas thriving.
Yeah, Bukauskas isn't like some gunslinger though, so I think decision's live too. I personally wouldn't chase the prop.
Let's go. Finchman and I both, Modestas Bukauskas to handle business confidently. Let's get to the co-main event. We got Benoit Saint-Denis versus Mauricio Ruffy. I think Mauricio Ruffy is going to show levels to Benoit Saint-Denis in this fight. I see him catching Benoit Saint-Denis down the center line. In France. I think Saint-Denis getting chin. Mauricio Ruffy's got good timing, ability to stance switch hit, good slickness with his striking flow. I see straight shots aplenty coming down for Mauricio Ruffy. I like his slickness a ton here. I think he's got really good timing on his shots. The only thing we've ever seen close to the McGregor flow with the karate-esque style. And it's not like he hasn't survived wrestling onslaughts before. Beat Ramon Magomed Aliyev to get his UFC contract on Contender Series, which he was an underdog up in weight against Islam Makhachev's boy. Mauricio Ruffy's a problem. Okay. Yeah. And I think Mauricio Ruffy is going to show levels to BSD. I think BSD has some of the worst striking defense in the UFC right now. He's tough as fuck, willing to take shots to land his own, willing to bulldoze forward and try to drag your ass to the ground. I also don't think he's as good of a wrestler as advertised. He's got some strength to him. He's got some ability to win fights on the ground, but let's not act like Renato Moicano didn't beat his ass on the ground in round one. And I'm not saying Moicano isn't good at jiu-jitsu. He's skillful, but I see Mauricio Ruffy with like a pedigree of a future contender. I see Benoit Saint-Denis as a gritty journeyman, mixing it up with guys and holding a spot around top 20 to 15. I think that his skill gap is now known to the masses. Okay. We saw it. He doesn't move his head. And he fought an aging Dustin Poirier and listen, gave him hell early, then got knocked the fuck out. But respect on what he did early. Violently chinned. Then obviously Money Moicano beating his ass, but he still wanted to fight after the doctor stopped it. Like he's got a lot of will to win. Didn't look great against Kyle Prepolek. I thought it was a bad matchup versus Yoel Alvarez. I was picking Alvarez to knock his ass out. And now Mauricio Ruffy, I think we're going to see Ruffy knock him out. I think Ruffy lives up to the prophecy from Brazil that will become a contender from this, I don't want to say the favelas, but from the Fighting Nerds team. There will be a lightweight who makes waves in this division, okay? And I think it's Mauricio Ruffy, and he will resemble an Irishman that was once hated by many Brazilians. He'll bring that flair and style into the octagon and thrive. Mauricio Ruffy by knockout.
Who the fuck is that guy? What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know about McGregor. He does have, you know what him and Connor share? They leave this little void. That's what MVP calls it, the void, right? They leave that space between, him and his opponent where he uses that. He has good timing. He'll close it, and then he'll just use it to keep just a little too far away to get into a fist fight. So I think that's going to work really well against the Benoit Saint-Denis. Benoit Saint-Denis, a very passionate guy who loses all the time. Could he be more French? Could he be more French? He fucking comes forward. I think that's one good thing. Like if you watch James Lontop and Mauricio Ruffy, Lontop had a little bit of success because of the fucking pressure. Like, he was getting tagged, but because he was in Ruffy's face, making Ruffy work, it was still a fight. You know, Benoit Saint-Denis, kind of a similar thing. The car is in drive. I respect that, but he's too goddamn easy to hit. AJ just said he's too easy to hit, right? So even though he gives people good fights sometimes, he did not give Renato Moicano a good fight. But even though he gives, you know, people a run for their money, he's just too damn easy to land on. It's target practice for people. Now you're going to put him in against Mauricio Ruffy, who's a sniper. I mean, it's not, you know, we were talking about Call of Duty, right? There's the sticks and stones game, and you could play, you know, one in the chamber where you got the one shot and the knife fighting. That's not what he's got. The sniper rifle, bro. Mauricio Ruffy's sitting out there in wheel kick zone. Okay, he's sitting out there putting the big straight cross on you. Bang! He's trying to time you for these longer range shots. That's terrible for Benoit Saint-Denis. And now you're going to put him inside the big cage with Mauricio Ruffy. I think Mauricio Ruffy via knockout.
Mauricio Ruffy knockout. And I don't think the odds are wide enough. It's minus 180 from Mauricio Ruffy right now, Mike Finch. I think
minus 180. Yeah. And you know what? You know, Khamzat Chimaev was an absolute lock at minus 180. You know, sometimes when the confidence is high, that money line's not crazy. I think Mauricio Ruffy probably finishes him too.
Let's go. Mauricio Ruffy knockout plus 115.
You know, because Benoit Saint-Denis is such a fucking wild man, and Mauricio Ruffy can't seem to miss. His timing is nice, and his shot placement's nice. You know, these are McGregor-esque things, right? The shot that's called up is the right shot for the right moment. He sees where you're moving, he decides what you're about to do, and he puts the shot right there. It's not stupid. He doesn't have a dumb game. He has a very intelligent striking game. I think he finds the right shot to get Benoit Saint-Denis out of there. I do. Let's
go. Knockout win for Mauricio Ruffy. The pick for me, the pick for the Finch. Is it in the first round, Mike Finch?
I mean, that's how Benoit Saint-Denis likes to fight. So, yeah.
Under 1.5 plus 145.
That's interesting. That's how Benoit Saint-Denis fights. Win or lose, he comes out there like the Tasmanian devil. So I'll say 1 round. Yeah, I will.
Plus 325 first round knockout Ruffy.
Wow. You know, it's interesting.
Mauricio Ruffy to win. Confident pick for me in the Finch. And let's get to our UFC Paris main event of the evening. If you guys are watching and enjoying, hit that damn like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. We got Nasruddin Imavov versus Kyle Borralho. I'm going with Nasruddin Imavov to pull through in the matchup. And not only am I picking Imavov, Mike Finch, underdog locking the side of Nasruddin Imavov. I believe in the game. I think that the takedown defense of Imavov is sharp. I think his kickboxing skills are high level. He picks his shots nicely. He's got good distance management, good striking from range, good slickness with his hands. Knockout of Israel Adesanya. I was singing his praises leading up to the Izzy fight, and seeing him knock out Adesanya out like that, I really think we have a guy that has grown before our eyes too, because I remember the early UFC fights. And then you look at him now, it's all coming together. Imavov is going to be the top contender after Saturday. I don't see Borralho getting him down. Borralho's got good jiu-jitsu when it gets there, but his wrestling ability isn't great. And yeah, Brendan Allen landed a quick takedown on Imavov, ended up in side control and won that first round, failed after that consistently. Imavov has a capable takedown threat as well if he needs to. Yep. I think the way Borralho would end up on top in this fight is if Imavov had some type of slip towards the cage. It was more of an Imavov mistake than a Borralho power takedown. I don't see it. I think Imavov's sharp, whether it's clinch takedown defense and fighting the hands and defending trips, or if it's, you know, shooting, you know, blast double legs and shit, which I don't think Borralho's going to do on him. I feel like Imavov is going to outstrike Borralho. He's going to find openings. He's slicker on the feet. He's got better timing. He picks his shots more wisely. And I think he's a top-level striker, one of the best strikers in the UFC right now, probably. Technically speaking, at the least. I think Nasruddin Imavov handles business this Saturday against Kyle Borralho. What do you think?
Kyle is the one who called Imavov out. He's been calling Imavov's name for a while. Imavov put it on his Instagram. How many fucking times Kaio has said his name? So here you go, Kaio. Now you're going to fucking get it. You got the guy who just put out Izzy early with a beautiful, really it was one punch. I know he finished with a flurry, but really it was a one punch KO. And Izzy's a mean southpaw. Kaio either couldn't take down or didn't really want to take down Jared Cannonier. Fucking Imavov took him down twice in their fight. Imavov's a very capable grappler too. Now, Kaio has better jiu-jitsu, but will the fight be there? I really think they're going to spend their time on the feet here, AJ. I think this is a kickboxing fight. And if Kaio Borralho is stuck up there on the feet with Imavov, I think he's getting fucked up. I think Imavov's going to put him out. Imavov can drop him and try to finish him and go in there because the jiu-jitsu is not that dangerous. If he's on top, he should be fine. He knows how to grapple well. He's still an OV, even though he's a striker. I think Imavov looks good here. I think he's a pretty fucking bad matchup for Kaio Borralho. And it's interesting. I'm on him. You're on him. Anybody who's smart that I've talked to has been on Imavov, and yet he's the dog. They're going to give us underdog money on this. Now, I fucked up. I bet it when it was even odds. I didn't fucking know that the pendulum would swing this way. Nasruddin Imavov via knockout is my pick. I think you give him 5 rounds. You give him enough time to work. Could this thing go to a decision? Absolutely. Kaio's a tough customer. He does have good range management. I like how Kaio Borralho's also on the balls of his feet, and he's got a little bit of that karate in there with his striking. But brother, even Prates, even the guys he's sparring with, they don't have hands like Imavov does. Imavov can really crack with his hands, and he's very technically sound. Imavov does not make big, stupid mistakes. He's in his prime. He wants this title shot, and I think this is the most winnable fight for him. Imavov would have more trouble with like a Fluffy Hernandez or a Khamzat Chimaev. This Kaio Borralho matchup's the right fight for him. I think Imavov wins this thing in the main event.
I like it. I'm on the same side. We got plus money. It's been ranging around plus 105 to plus 115. At open, he was a minus 135 favorite. The line has flipped like Finchman spoke upon. I think Imavov, money call, pulls through. I like him as an underdog here, a close money dog. Finchman going knockout. Imavov KO is plus 425. I think knockout or decision. We could see it going all 5. We'll find out about Kaio's chin. Another thing is when you look into the resume of Kaio and you really look deep, right? Jared Cannonier, decision win, impressive for sure. Cannonier, yes, he's fallen on hard times, but still, beating Cannonier is a good win. Fight before that, beat Paul Craig, who we're predicting is going to take a fat L on this card, and it is washed. Abus Magomedov decision is all right. Beat McCall Jacek before Oleg Jacek had a ground game and now trains with Oleg Jacek. And then fight before that, Mukhmad Muradov. Those don't equate to wins over Imavov, who beat Israel Adesanya, Brendan Allen, Jared Cannonier, and Roman Dolidze. Imavov's a fucking problem, man. And I think him versus Khamzat Chimaev might be coming later this year, though I could see Fluffy RDR winner jumping the line, but Imavov would certainly deserve it with the resume that says title shot.
I know, but that's the thing, man. It's like, wouldn't Fluffy or RDR deserve it with a good performance against each other? It's kind of a logjam up at the top of the division, which is a good problem. It's a good problem. I think that they should just fight Khamzat Chimaev. Here's a crazy idea. Let Khamzat fight. They're the ones who are holding them back. Khamzat was like, I'm down to defend the belt. Let's go. Perfect. So I think keep Khamzat active, bro. Can we get 3 title defenses in the next year? I would like that. I think Nasruddin Imavov is going to shine here, man. I am a fan of the fighting nerds. I mean, I've got big respect for the fighting nerds. And, Kaio's a very, very skilled fighter. His jiu-jitsu is incredible. He's a tough matchup for Khamzat Chimaev. I just don't think he gets there, man. Imavov's on one. Imavov's he doesn't make big mistakes, AJ. When he throws his punches, he's always so technically sound, offensively and defensively. He's going to be hard to wrestle with for Imavov, who's not a wrestler, right? Imavov's not this incredible wrestler like a Khamzat Chimaev. It's a big problem. I think Imavov gets it done.
Let's go. Imavov, the call. for Finchman, the call for myself. We're both going with the underdog in the main event, which I think is a damn good sign. We got some good dog picks and some confident favorites on this card. And that leads us to parlay time. Are you ready for it, Mike Finch?
Let's run it.
Let's go.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time. Open up your wallets and let's bet on some fist fights.
Yeah. Parlay time. How the fuck am I not going to fade Paul Craig when it comes to Paris on Saturday night? Yeah. First leg of the parlay. Modestus Bukauskas.
And to team him up with Destiny, we're going Mauricio Ruffy on my side. The parlay is plus 101, and I think it's very live to hit. I like it from the Finch. I think we're on a lot of good calls this week. I'm feeling good about what we got linked up.
Man, we got a couple dogs. I like that we're on the same dogs. That's interesting. I like that a lot, man. You know, I said it already in the show. When AJ and I are on a dog, take fucking notes. And we got 2 on this card, or 2 or 3. So very, very excited for UFC Paris, man. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working man in the entertainment side of combat sports, AJ DeVito, just giving you guys nonstop fucking entertainment. All right. Even when there's an off week, he still finds a way to make it happen. Even when I can't do Monday because I was celebrating my 6-year anniversary with wifey.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, by the way. Thank you. AJ finds a way to keep you guys entertained. I think we're going to have a good card this one, AJ.
It's going to be fantastic. Listen, I love the money line. I love you, Finch, man. You're like a cousin to me at this point. We become boys on here breaking down the fights. It wouldn't be a fulfilled week without it, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to be AJ's cousin, you know? We got to we got to hold it down. So I think this confident 5 is going to be a good one. I'll be doing that right after this. So come see me over on my channel. AJ will drop the link as usual.
Of course. I already got it loaded up, man. How'd you know? Read my fucking mind.
There it is. / Mike Finch. I keep it really simple for y'all. Okay. /youtube.com/Mike Finch. We keep it nice and simple. And then I'll be recording my bets tonight. I've already had the lock and the parlay out there for fucking few days now. And I actually got to film this weekend, AJ. So I went up to Monterey, California, and I was in a short film where it was just me and my wife for the 2 characters, and she whipped the plate at me and shit. It was really awesome. So that short film will be coming out hopefully next month, and you guys will be able to see what's up. So,
all right, movie star. Look at this guy making waves. Holy shit.
Come on. You know, I had the opportunity. I'm like, fuck it. You know, the script, memorizing lines again. Wow, that didn't come as easy as it did in high school, bro. I used to memorize Shakespeare. I was King Claudius. I was
shit.
You know what I mean? I used to be able to knock out those Shakespeare. I could do it all day, you know, but now memorizing, my wife does it in one day. Boom. She looks at it, reads it a couple times. She's memorized. She's like a fucking machine. It's honestly super impressive. Me, god damn, took me weeks, but I got it done, and we had a lot of fun over the weekend filming. So I'm glad to be back to fist fights, guys. I'll be dropping my bets over in premium channel. DM at Mike Finch Show on Instagram if you want to see who I'm betting on this weekend. And I gotta say, this is a confident card for me.
Let's go. Agreed. Let's go. Active Finch, man. Where can we watch this film?
It will be hopefully just out on YouTube, guys. Now, he told me he'd have a rough next month, so it could be, you know, till this winter he gets it completely edited. But he had a nice team out there, man. You know, shout out to all of them, Daniel, Matt, the whole team. And, you know, we all collaborated together to produce some art for you guys. So when it's out, AJ, you will know.
All right. Sounds good. Listen, we got the Finchman's link pinned in the chat. Also got this week's Best of MMA Bets. What I recommend you do, click on this week's Best of MMA Bets, add it to your watch later. If you haven't seen it, it's out. It was dropped earlier today. And then go watch the Finchman live and then watch my video afterwards. So you guys got a night full of content left, probably well over an hour of savagery with this show as well. So you're going to be chilling. Gunnar Simmons, thank you for the 199. He says, happy early B-Day, Finchy. Have a good one, boys. Hey.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Simmons. Thank you so much. I did get a birthday donation before the show went out. Thank you so much. I hope you come see me on Most Confident in 10 minutes. Yeah, 33 years old. Gonna go get some tacos tomorrow night with wifey. It'll be lovely. And then got some friends together, and we're going to an island, Catalina Island, right off of the coast of Huntington Beach, Long Beach here on Saturday. So we're gonna celebrate. All right. Thank you for that. Appreciate that, Simmons.
Hey, birthday wishes to you, Finch. People, we will see you all soon. Go watch the Finch Man show. Love you all, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.